back in San Francisco. It's I can breathe again.
Yeah. There's no weird altitude sickness holding you down, keeping you.
But it's it's not. I'm not in a beautiful mountain setting anymore.
Yeah, it was pretty.
500 of my friends.
That's right. And here's the thing. I got to ask you this question. You like a good beer here and there and a decent
every now and then.
whatever. Sure.
Just in moderation.
Right. Of course, you're a moderate guy. But when you're up in 8,000 foot elevation, which we were at Snowbird for Nerdtacular last week, and do you? So there's supposed to be this like rule of thumb where it's like for every 8 ounces of alcohol you consume, you then have to drink 2 or 16 ounces of water to retain the proper hydration. Did you attempt to do this?
Okay, so I did show up to Nerdtacular with a plan of not maybe being dead in the morning sometimes. Because last year we were supposed to go golfing at 9 a.m. on Sunday, and apparently Chad could not even move me. He's like, nope, you were not, it was not going to happen. So this year, yes, I did stay hydrated much more. It's actually really hot this year too.
Yeah, so, it was much warmer, less overcast, all that stuff.
Yeah. But I also brought a bunch of like emergencies. And so every day I was doing like a full water bottle, chucking a little emergency in there.
Look at you.
And yeah.
That's
so
fantastic.
I was good to go. I was fine.
All right. Well, we missed.
But also the beer is only 3% or whatever.
Yeah, it's real low there. Well, is it? I don't know.
So it's mostly water.
That's true. You're staying hydrated
so for
with your
every
own
beer.
beer.
You just have another beer to stay hydrated.
Right.
I think that's
more beer.
Right.
More beer is the answer. Well, it was a great time. It was really cool to have Hordeland, aka Russell Brower, back this year. We had oh my gosh, John LeGrave was there, man responsible largely for so much of what we play in the World of Warcraft. It was so cool to see him and Julia again. To have like regular Blizzard peeps, and what you heard at the top of the show was a little thing Chris sent over his phone. I trimmed it down for the show, but it was directed at Nerdtacular, so we played that on stage. We also got a message from Ghostcrawler, who's now at Riot Games, and from Hodor, which is nice to hear from Hodor occasionally, and Christian Nairn. Anyway, long and the short is, the only thing we were really missing instance-wise was Terpster. He couldn't come. And he's still not here, although he should be here any minute. Yeah, he's coming in a little bit late. He had a call he was on. So,
but he did send a lovely video message.
He did, right? I didn't like that he showed us his penis. I wasn't really into that.
I think that it was unnecessary.
Yeah. A little over the top, right? Just a little.
But here's the thing. I feel like Terpster didn't show up on purpose because he was so insanely jealous of Patrick's funny video that he said, you know what, I'm not going to show up because then I get to do the funny video.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it was all part of his plan.
Yeah, nicely done. And then Patrick one-upped him again by wearing your sleeveless American shirt and a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
That was amazing. So he had texted me and said, hey, Dills, I need your, that shirt that I saw you wear on Instagram. Can
I borrow your shirt?
Because because I wasn't going to bring it.
No.
There was no real need for me to bring that there.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, sure, no problem. And I had no idea what he had in store, but it was pretty epic.
It was amazing.
Yeah. But then I had to respond. I could not let that stand.
Yeah, totally. It's
but
awesome though.
The French people have been great to America, but
we'll yes, they have, right? I mean, they've been very gracious each time we've come and saved them. They're wonderful. They're wonderful hosts when we save them from their
every time they tremble in fear. We're there to stand up and be big manly men. Yeah,
and, of course, Patrick of Blizzard PR there in Europe. So again, all these Blizzard people, it was just fantastic. They sent us a bunch of swag. I have some left over that I'm going to give away as prizes here. Have to send Terpster this flask. Check this out, chat room.
Oh yeah, I got mine too. I finally got a chance to use it.
Yeah,
the other night.
What'd you put in there? What'd you christen it with?
It's just some whiskey.
Oh yeah,
a little whiskey in there.
All right, and I never remember his name who made these, but the guy's a genius. I would give him credit.
I know I don't want to say it wrong.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Anyway,
I think it might have been Dave, but it also could have been John.
It could have been
too many people this weekend.
Mike, yeah, I don't remember.
Hard.
I remember nobody's names. It's just I remember yours.
So hard to remember.
I've got you down. I think you're still Willie, and I think you're still Dills, and I think that's all I really need.
People
to know.
have to introduce themselves to me 3 or 4 times, and then it'll stick.
It was cool though, and Terpster made a giant announcement that we'll wait for him to get on to talk about, or if he doesn't show up today for some reason, then I'll tell you toward the end of the show. But it was so cool that he saved the news for a big crowd of people who love him most.
Yeah.
We'll get to all that in a minute. Let's talk about the week, though. Well, really, the last couple of weeks. The week before this week was really a blur, and I did nothing but work toward Nerdtacular and had no game time, so nothing really happened. But ironically, I got home from this thing and played more WoW than I played in a while, and I don't know what happened there. It's
like mini BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Because post BlizzCon, you just come home and you just, I want to play all the Blizzard games.
Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, you really get motivated to do stuff that, well, at least you're just sort of talking with friends about, or like, oh man, my whole raid team is here, and this is exciting. And for whatever reason, that drove me home. And the first bit of game time I had, I decided to play my Mage for, I don't know why. I know why. I cracked open a Mage as a new character, a pre-made on the beta, and I got a taste of it, and I just kind of went, oh, I miss my Mage. Why didn't I ever finish leveling my Mage? He's like 60-something. Why is he just sitting there? So went back, pulled him out, ran some heroics, some LFG, blah, blah. LFR, rather. No, LFG. Yeah, LFG, right? Yeah.
Yeah, LFG. Looking for group, not raid. Yeah,
not raid. So did a bunch of that and said, oh, I don't want to do this for another 30 levels. I don't want to do this. I want to be 90 now, and I want to be in Timeless Isles, and I want to be kicking that stuff around, and I want to start, I want to LFR there, and I want to do some stuff there, and I want to run with my friends. So what am I doing here? So, dude, I totally threw $60 at another boost.
Well, you're sitting on all that Nerdtacular scratch right now,
right. So much of it. We make none of it. We hardly make a thing. But the point is that, like, it just felt like an okay idea. And so here's how I justified it. I went, I've never bought a mount in the game, like the purchasable $25 mounts. Never done it.
Yeah.
I've only bought one pet in the game, and that was for the charity. So that was like $10 or whatever. So I thought to myself, well, this is just as if I got 2 pets or 2 mounts, maybe a pet. And lots of people do that all the time. Well, that's worth it in my head, I'm thinking, because this is a finished pre-made character with all the stuff I need and, spec'd out the way I want and not having to work all that time to get him where I need to get him. Yeah. So I did it and immediately had buyer's remorse, but then that went away because,
once you started kicking around Timeless Isle, right?
Yeah, I forgot how much I love my Mage. I love my Mage. I really do.
I love your Mage.
Whoa, hello. Oh my gosh, you love my Mage also. Look at you.
I'm sorry I'm so late. How are you all?
I'm fine. Good? Your mic is on fire.
Yeah, you're pretty hot.
I'm on the wrong one, am I?
You're coming in
hot. You got a hot tea.
Son of a fudge stick. Hang on. Hang on. I got this.
Coming in like a hot bomb.
It's okay though, because he loves your Mage.
Yeah, he loves my Mage. Who doesn't love my Mage? Oh, now you're real quiet.
Now, okay, we're doing a Goldilocks and the Three Little Pigsties thing here right now.
A little closer, a little better.
There we go.
A little better, a little higher.
Yeah,
a little
higher still.
Yeah.
Christ, this is good content, isn't it?
It is really. Sound test.
Okay, how's this?
This is much better now.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. There we go.
I think you're strong, Joe. You're strong. Hey, can I just bring something up about you real fast now that you're here?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Well,
Turf wants to talk about Turf. There's massive,
massive penis. He was not able to come to Nerdtacular. We talked about this already. You weren't here for this little bit, but and we were sad, but we loved the video. And part of the video was Turfson made this like ginormous, like huge life announcement to the entire world that he's got a baby in the oven.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
In the oven, in all fairness, just to avoid any sort of children's...
don't put your babies in the oven, everybody.
Yeah, exactly. If it was actually in an oven, exactly, that would be really dangerous.
Yeah. Congrats, though.
Me being a dad's pretty dangerous to begin with, so I'm not sure which is more dangerous, though. Maybe the oven. Yeah. Maybe.
Pretty loose laws there in Bristol, England.
It's a very liberal country we live in.
Yeah, you gotta do what you want with your baby. It's great.
Yeah. Great. So I'm excited for you though, man. That's super. So as a guy whose daughter just got engaged yesterday.
Yeah. Wow, incredible. I woke up to this.
Yeah.
Literally, you sent me a video, which was. I'm going to tell you, Scott, it's slightly weird. Okay, I think if my father-in-law had filmed the bit when I proposed to my wife, I think I would be a little bit like, okay.
Yeah.
At what point do you stop filming? Is what I'm like.
Here's the deal.
Clear line.
We live in 2014, I figure, and we were all there as part of. We were all there as
very long street. There's 13 opposite, and they wave at them, but they're at 2014.
Sure, and we were all up there to be part of the ruse because he didn't want all of us to. He figured having us all around was going to keep her in the dark.
Surprise. Okay.
Yeah, that was all part of that. So we were already filming because they were just making photos of them on this path, trying to make some nice photos. That was the story anyway, and we had already done a bunch of like all the parents had been in pictures, and this was the first time we'd met his parents, so it all just looked like, oh, it's a photo trip up the canyon, big deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
None's
the wiser. So I already had the camera rolling.
Nuns are quite wise.
And then that all happened, and I couldn't stop. And then I thought, well, I live on the internet, so my kids kind of do anyway by proxy, and they're not going to care. Let's go. Let's do this.
I like how not only did you film it, but you got like a 360 Michael Bay kind of angle around it.
Did you notice that? Blah. I was getting some cool sounds in there.
And all of a sudden, explosions.
Yep. Fires and bombs.
That worked.
Anyway, that was all good, and it just reminded me that, oh man, Terpster's just starting on this path. He's just getting started, and how exciting that must be.
It's literally the first thing I thought is, shit, Scott's going to be like a granddad soon. That's what I thought. I was thinking, oh no, it's going to make doing the instance really weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, you'll be like, well, from the perspective of a grandfather, I think the new female model is terrible. It shows far too much cheek. Bottom cheek.
Bottom cheek.
I don't know. I think Scott's going to be a 2014 type of grandpa. I think he's going to be very, very progressive Grandpa Johnson.
Yeah, and let's keep in mind, there are no babies in the scene yet. There's none of this.
No babies in the oven
No,
yet?
gosh, no.
Say, sometimes, stuff happens, okay?
Yeah, I understand.
See, Scott, when a man loves a woman.
Oh, is that how that works? All right, I got it. I think here's the deal. He's in pre-med. He's going to be a doctor. She is pursuing
doctor of love.
She's pursuing her photography career and going to school and college. So there's all this stuff going on. I don't think they're in any rush to repopulate the planet.
They shouldn't be because there's
yeah, exactly. It's kind of my thing right now.
I don't know why Terpster was in such a rush. Well, Terpster likes to level up really quick. We know this. So
well, think of it this way: if they had a kid let's say they had a kid in a year, Terpster's child, assuming it's a boy, and let's say they had a girl, they could date in the foreseeable future. Think about that for a minute.
If you were, I don't know, how would that work? If my child, my son or daughter, you were their grandfather, sort of thing.
Yeah.
In some way. No, that's would you be?
I'd be the funnest grandfather that kid ever had.
And there we had the Turpin and Johnson families unite.
Finally,
honorable podcasting legends.
Through marriage and allies, they find a powerful alliance.
It's a terrible idea. Let's not have that happen.
Ironically, they named their alliance the Horde.
Exactly. The alliance called the Horde. So anyway, that's actually pretty funny. I should come. There's a cartoon in there somewhere. I have to think about that.
Somewhere in there.
So we were talking.
I could draw that joke. I might draw that joke later.
Yeah, I might. I might steal Terpster's idea and make a comic and then sell it.
Oh wow, you haven't done that before.
No, never. Not once. Not anything to do with Star Wars or anything. It's fine. So we were talking about how Nerdtacular just kind of rejuvenated my WoW playing, and I got home and I played, and I am really enjoying that mage. I am really glad I boosted it. I do not regret spending the $60. I think it's a totally fine way to spend money, and I feel like it's commensurate with the value you get. I wish I would have waited on my free one, but whatever. What are you gonna do? Now I have a.
Well, the thing is, did you did it after 60 though, didn't you?
I did. So I got I got the.
Exactly. That's what I wish. I just leveled up a brand new Orc Shaman on the EU side, being like, now I can play Terpster, but in the EU. That'd be cool. And I was like, man, I should have leveled this guy up to 60. It doesn't take that long.
Did you have a 60? You didn't have a 60 to do it with, did you?
Not that it was on the right server or was, an orc. I would have had to spend money at some point in that process.
Yeah.
So, but I probably should have. Yeah. That's what I've got billions of characters, but sadly, I didn't decide to level up one of the ones over 60.
Me either. So I don't know what I was thinking there, but he's loads of fun, and I really like the current. I mean, I know this stuff's changing in WoD, but the current rotation and the fun with Frost and all that is really, really feeling good to me. I didn't have the kind of like the shaman when I boosted him. I just went, I don't know what I'm doing with this guy. The mage just felt familiar. I just knew what I was doing, and it's always been a fun class for me. So it's not like it was going to be trouble. I just spent so much time with that hunter. This is feeling like a very refreshing experience, and getting into Timeless Isles again is fun. I know a lot of people are tired of that place, but I feel like it's kind of renewed with a new character, and I'm having fun in there. And I
find if you have the right add-on for the chests, then it's beautiful, because obviously when you pick them up, they disappear. You go there, they're all there, so it's not like you run to a place on the map and then like, oh, I must have already picked this one up.
I need to do that. I don't have a good mod for that. What do you do? You have a recommendation, or what's it called?
I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like list. I forget what it's called.
List, huh?
List. I don't know. It's on my one at home. I'm in work at the moment, so I can't even look in my folder. There's some good ones out there.
Speaking of work, that was fun to see how hard Lewis was working on that piece of pizza he was eating in that video you sent.
Oh wow, yeah.
You guys were all working incredibly hard.
Working your ass off.
Yeah, well, like I said, I would have loved to have been there, but I was really busy. So
swamped.
We were gonna have Italian for dinner as well that night, so I didn't want to leave.
No.
Travel all the way to Utah.
Okay.
Who would?
Is there a pool in the area, in the building or something? Where did you get the rules, the Nerdtacular?
Oh no, that's I just printed those out off the internet.
I was hoping you yanked it off.
I hope you yanked it off a wall.
Yeah, I did too. That would have been amazing.
Shattered the dream.
And then next thing you knew, somebody, like some poor kid, was like breaking all the rules because he had no idea. So,
he had no idea what the rules were.
Yeah,
he was bombing. I hope that they were people stuck to the rules.
Sure.
Because I spent a lot of time picking some really good ones.
Especially the petting bit. We didn't do that.
Well, exactly. Yeah, exactly. No bombing as well, because everyone's safe.
That's right.
No bombing.
But actually, I watched later. I was watching, I think it's, Battle of the FROGPANTS Stars. Yeah. And Patrick taking off his shirt and being all American. Personally, awesome. I felt that bombed a little bit.
Oh no! It was a huge hit.
It was amazing, wasn't it? Everyone loved that. Yeah. I thought, oh god damn you, Patrick, that's so damn smart. I wish I'd done that.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was really good, and it was fantastic to even watch along. Yeah. As a satellite back in the UK. Yeah. Just watching that on Twitch was amazing.
Well, you were missed. People missed the Terpster when he's not around, and but your video, I think, satiated everybody, and they were all just laugh riot. And the announcement of the baby, people were freaking out, excited for it.
Well, a lot of people were like, "Is it mine? Is it?" It's like, no. It's with someone else. Don't worry. You're not pregnant. Yeah. Like, oh, thank you.
A lot of women giving strange glances to each other in the audience.
Going like, "Is it yours?" I don't know. I might be. He might have ultrasounded me. I don't know. And so
that's awesome. Well, anyway, it's good just to have us all back. And the last thing I'll say about this mage was I raided with him last night, which is crazy. We did
really?
Yeah, it's Siege of
Orgrimmar. You make it sound like it's another dude that you're playing with. I raided with him. He was great.
It's really weird because I wasn't totally comfortable with, kind of rotation and DPS and stuff, and obviously my gear kind of sucks, but we did a flex 20 or flex 25 with the first wing of Siege of Orgrimmar. And that was it's pretty easy. It's all on farm.
Yeah, it's all.
And it was nice of Fert to walk me through it. I'm sure it was the lowest geared guy in there because I just had the starter sort of, Timeless Isle gear. But still, that was a lot of fun. And I think we're going to hang with this mage for a while, at least between this and the next expansion. I just feel like maybe Henry and Gerp need a rest and they can chill out for a while. And let's let Fleener, the fat freaking
Fleener,
Pandaren.
Really?
Yeah, Fleener.
Wow.
Fleener.
How do you come up with these names?
I don't know. They all just pop out. I can't help it. I always look for the short ones, and if I can't get those, I go a little bit longer. But I'm always into the 2 syllables at the most names.
It's like this is too many syllables now. 3 syllables. No, back to the drawing board.
No, I still own Roy. I got Roy on some Alliance server, some Night Elf I never did much with.
There's no value. You need it where you are.
I know, it sucks. I could transfer him, but it says his name's already there, so I can't transfer him, and I don't know what to do with him. He'll just sit there, I guess. But yeah, Gerp I'll keep forever. I used to have another great name that Blizzard took from me, and I can't remember who it was. Oh, that's weird.
What?
Did we lose Dills? No, he's back. Dills, you there?
Hello.
Oh, that was weird. Yeah, I thought we lost you for good.
I don't know.
You're back.
I don't know.
So that's what I've been up to. Terps, do you play any stuff? Doing anything? What are you doing?
I've been playing an ass ton of Hearthstone. It's a unit we use over here in the metric system.
Yeah.
And I've just been playing
ass ton or
multiple ass tons, but I don't really want to go into it.
You go millimeter, centimeter, kilometer, meter, kilometer, then ass ton. Got it.
Yeah.
And then assometer.
Loads and loads of Hearthstone. I had the lovely fortune of the other day watching Dills play. At literally, I woke up at, I think it was like 7 a.m. or something like that, because I'm a baller. I might wake up at 7, maybe 7:15.
Yeah, stuff to do, man.
Sure.
You know, and it was brilliant because Dills had just started streaming, and he was literally streaming and steaming at the same time, just from enjoying some lovely alcohol.
Yeah.
And just was dominating with this Warlock Zoo deck. He went from rank 15 to 10 without a single loss. Yeah. Just each time, just like, I did it again. I'll take a drink. And it was absolutely spectacular. Yeah. And I still get so sort of excited and G'd up with Hearthstone. It's one of those games that you watch people play, and then you're like, oh man, this is so cool. I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go, play some more now myself. Yeah. And I was later watching some guy from the Netherlands, I think it was, who went from rank 1 to legend with Miracle Rogue. And I'm like, look, there's no skill involved. It's easy.
Yeah, you just play the cards and you
just
win.
Play the cards. That's the thing with Miracle. It's like, there's no skill. It's brilliant. So I think it's.
You excited for the next expansion? You're looking forward to that?
Yeah, I mean, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. We ran a series of 6 episodes on the Yogscast for Hearthstone, and I got to. I made sure that I was the voice of the narrator. So I got to do all these cheesy lines and cliches, and I loved it. Yeah. And what we want to do is kind of finish up that series in Naxxramas. So we just decided at the end that we've kind of flew up and showed a picture of the Naxxramas. Not the Citadel. What is it? It's a floating.
The whatever you call that. The Acropolis. Yeah.
And it's just, again, it gets you G'd up. Even watching it, I'm like, I helped make that, but I'm G'd up about it. Well, I can't wait.
It's easy to plan the rest of your series now because we have a date and price and all that. Dills, when do we get all this stuff?
Well, the date is not official.
Date's not yet. Yeah, they've said they're still aiming for July, aren't they?
July 15th is I still believe is when it's happening.
Holy crap, that's next week.
Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't be surprised with it being Blizzard if we didn't get it till August or later.
No, I mean, Ben Brode tweeted and said they're still on pace for July, even though whatever had been delayed. But
when's
I still believe
Reaper of Souls coming out for PlayStation?
August 19th, 18th, and 18th.
You got to hope it's before then.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's just a real pain in the ass.
It's a big PR mess. Well, I don't know. Maybe they're messaging very different groups. I don't know, but you're right. They tend to avoid to try to have releases of 2 different properties at the same.
No, and try not to put them right next to each other either. So I really think the 15th because I know that the leak happened a while ago and it looked pretty complete at that point.
Yeah.
The last we heard really was that they were in the bug fixing phase. Yeah. And they had fixed 200 or so bugs.
Are there any new classes? Is there going to be Death Knights or is that?
No. This is just the raid content, basically.
Raid content and then some new cards.
Yeah.
And then 30 new cards. But there's also cards that are not playable by us that are, the boss plays these certain cards.
And they're going to remind me, so they're going to do it just like they released the actual content when it came out in WoW, they're going to release it in wings.
One wing a week, and first wing is free, only for a month after launch or so.
So you got to get into it right away, then it's free for you, but then everything else is like, what, $6 per wing?
700 gold or $4.99 or $5.99. I can't remember exactly.
No brainer.
But basically, but you can also purchase the entire thing for like $20.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's amazing. I think it's like £18, £17 over here, which is I think the equivalent.
And I'm actually going to go. I'm just going to pay the real money.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I totally am as well. I'm not wasting coins on that. What are you talking about? I'll spend that on packs.
The thing is, so I initially was saving gold to be able to just buy into it with gold and not spend real money.
Yeah.
But the more I thought about it, I was just like, there's a lot of players who are probably at this point trying to do this free to play with this game. And my personal opinion is this game is fantastic. I spend so much time playing it. I do not care about throwing Blizzard $20-25 or whatever for some
like,
amazing
2 months
content.
of WoW?
Yeah.
It's it's nothing. So I'm really excited about that. So I think that'll be really cool. So expect me to be death rattling my way through that when it comes
to glory. Yeah. I'm just excited. I mean, it's funny that I say this because maybe this just speaks more to my playstyle, but I'm excited about the fact that I can play that content without having to be, rank 5 stud.
Yeah.
I just get to play.
It has nothing to do with that at all.
Nothing at all, and that's exciting to me. I was talking to Ibit yesterday, and he's kind of the same, and he goes, "Yeah, this is going to get me back into this hardcore." So they are really. It is good to see them addressing that side of the player base, but it's not like it's a thing that competitive online players aren't looking forward to too. Like you're looking forward to as much as anybody. And the new cards are going to be available, and just the fun that'll be had. There's something here for everybody. Pretty stoked about that.
The crazy thing at BlizzCon at Nerdtacular this year
was
how many people were just playing Hearthstone all over the place.
Yeah, and the Wi-Fi was so good.
Yeah, I was like, what did we do last year? Did we?
We didn't play that.
How did we? Yeah,
and
I guess we just talked.
Spoke to each other.
Yeah, we have talked to one another. Weird.
So apparently, you absolutely owned Patrick at Hearthstone. That's good.
Yeah. You know, it's funny though. So he didn't have a device.
I think it's really good though.
Yeah.
It was a close game, but he built his deck on Valkrion's iPad. And Valkyrion afterwards was like, I'm never deleting this deck. That is the Patrick Beja deck that I have now.
Yeah. And he realized, this deck's crap.
Well, we looked it over afterwards, and there was some
two
interesting
gold
decisions. It was just so funny. It was, it was a fun game, and I was glad I took it home for Team USA.
Yeah, screw France, screw those guys. I totally.
Although
get that.
Patrick was, part of
Team USA at the time, exactly, but still.
So you've got
a Civil War is what I'm saying.
I did want to mention one other thing about the event, and then this is cool because Dill's going to see him again. But the Double Clicks played. They were our main music act, and they were fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they were dead perfect for that. And you're going to see him again this week. Is that true?
They're playing in San Francisco on Saturday. So
that's great.
And then Oakland on Sunday. I won't be able to make it to Oakland. I will be in Oakland, but I have a golf tournament, so I won't be able to. I mean, maybe I could convince some people to go.
Sure.
But yeah, so their Saturday show is like sold out in San Francisco. So I had to like contact them and see if I could get in there somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, they hit me back, and I'm gonna go check them out.
That's awesome. Anybody who knows or listens to the show, if you go to either of these shows, make sure you tell them that we're here. We loved them. I mean, we tell them already, but
yeah,
they were rad.
They're on tour, so
yeah.
Go to their website. I think it's just doubleclicks.com. And
first stop on their tour was us. We were number one, man.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So
yeah, you always do a really low one for the first one, just to get all the kinks out when it doesn't matter.
Sure. Get all your poop material.
Doubleclicks.com.
Yeah.
They have all their tour dates up there, and they're coming to a lot of places. So
yeah, they're also
go out and support them.
They're also the Double Clicks on Twitter, so you can follow them there. All right, there is news, big news. Let's find out what it is. Ooh, big news.
Big news of the week.
Big news of the week brought to you by our friends at DoghouseSystems.com. They were at Nerdtacular, gave away a brand new box right there at the show. Big, beefy, sweet box with a big custom piece of art from the show and all our signatures on it, minus Terpster's, sadly. So that happened, and they were so nice. And then they did one for listeners at home, people who are watching the stream. Super generous, and they want you to go check out their amazing boxes. Do it today, save some money, use the code Henry for double the memory, and they've got those new Blizzard machines. You can see those at doghousesystems.com/Blizzard. They look amazing. We gave a couple of those panels away as well, and this all reminds me, so that's doghousesystems.com. This reminds me, Terpster, you can't see this because you're not seeing the video, but I'm holding up a custom leather flask made by one of the attendees that says The Instance on it, and this is coming to you in the mail, sir.
Oh, amazing. I saw Dill's drinking out of it and was instantly very jealous.
Yeah,
so
should be.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, I got another one here for me that says Nerdtacular. I got one for Randy who couldn't come either, and that's going to him with a film sack one. These are all amazing. So big props and ups to him. All right, let's get into it. Rob Pardo. Been at Blizzard for 17 frickin' years, leaving Blizzard Entertainment.
Yeah.
And he says this. He says, every ending is a beginning, and today marks a new beginning for me. After 17 years at Blizzard, with long and careful contemplation, I have made a difficult and bittersweet but ultimately exciting decision to pursue the next chapter in my life and career. He goes on to sort of explain a lot of things about his time at Blizzard. A lot of love for the StarCraft time for him. I've heard Morhaime say this too. Everyone seems to have loved that moment in Blizzard history when StarCraft 1 came out. But anyway, big long email or post or whatever you want to call it, and a lot of people want to go, this is because he made those comments about male and female gamers and why there aren't enough female developers on the team and all that.
I doubt that very much.
I do too. It may be, there may be a tiny piece of it, or at the very least, it's part of. No, maybe not.
Now, it would have to be so far in the works. I mean, he's so entrenched and so high up in Blizzard that he would have some insane employment contract about his notice period and how much time he has to give. And he's the CCO. He's like the daddy when it comes to their product.
Yeah, he's like he's like dude's second or third important level guy.
Yeah, and the thing is, he's always been a phenomenal presence at Blizzard. And it's weird because Blizzard, it always tries to stress about how every voice matters and it's a team product and they all work together. And then at the same time, they thrust these massive cool personalities in front of us, like Metzen and like Pardo and like Sammy, and these guys that just have charisma or have, just fantastic heritage of just being amazingly good at their jobs. Right. And it is a real shame that he's going. I think it's... is a loss for Blizzard. It's one of now a couple of quite notable losses as Blizzard loses some of those higher up, more entrenched people. Obviously, Greg leaving earlier in the year or last year. I can't remember when it was really. It was a real shame to see him go, but obviously he's gone on to bigger and better things personally for him, which is great. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Pardo start up his own studio, and I think that.
Well, that's going to be what I was going to ask next. Do we have predictions about where he ends up? Because he's not going to be. It won't be like a Greg Street thing where he's going to move over to another big head design
potentially
place.
He could do, but I think the games industry is changing. I think when you look at things like Hearthstone, and you look at these smaller teams making products that are cheaper to make, come to market quicker, more relevant, and capture the imagination of an audience. Indies do it day in, day out, and they're very in right now. But I don't think, if you're looking at something like Destiny, how much money has Activision and Bungie spent on Destiny? I mean, it is Bungie. They're notoriously fantastic at producing these sorts of games. But that's one hell of a risk. And how many times can you bankroll a risk like that, especially in the MMO world and the online world where these games cost so much to make? That I think, we're seeing a lot of big developers now and big stars at developers break off and create these smaller, more agile teams that can create games cheaper and quicker, but still to that high fidelity that we demand. And I wouldn't be surprised if Pardo is, looking to set up his own thing and do something like that. Because conceivably it's manageable. It's not like the old day where if he left Blizzard, he'd have to employ 100 people to get it off the ground.
Or get another job at, EA or somewhere or whatever.
Exactly. Whereas he plus, 3 or 4 other really passionate veterans of the games industry have enough experience and skill behind them and contacts in these other companies to lean on for assistance that, there's no reason to say that, Rob couldn't make an amazing iOS game or a really cool indie game sold through Steam or Humble. You don't need these massive companies as much anymore. I remember chatting to Pardo back in like BlizzCon 2010, I think it was. Something like that. And he was stressing like the way to get into the games industry is to make a D&D adventure. Sit down and write and make a story, a narrative, and think of mechanics that are fun and that people will enjoy playing along with you, and how are you going to lead them through it, and all of those skills are transferable into game design. And he is just an amazing guy who is phenomenally talented. And I like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes on to do something on his own, hopefully with the love of Blizzard.
I'm sure.
It'd be cool to see.
I assume so.
Sure, they're fine.
Dills, as the guy who is largely responsible for championing the idea of Hearthstone and even doing it in the first place, and then getting it to where it is the thing it is today. This has to be a little bittersweet on the tails of.
Yeah, a little bit. I was talking to Garrett about it, and it was funny because he's not really tied to it. Literally, you don't see his name on a lot of things when you're looking at the Hearthstone team. But he really was one of the driving forces behind making Team 5 something that could do what they did and get that game out. So, a lot of credit goes to Rob for that game. And it's crazy that these big guys are leaving, but I think it opens the door for more people to step in and fresh talent at Blizzard. And it's a good thing. And overall, when like somebody like a Greg Street or Rob Pardo leaves and goes and does something else, because now we get awesome stuff from a lot of different angles instead of all of our stuff coming from Blizzard.
It's a good point. He says this in his letter. My priorities are to enjoy the summer with my family, play plenty of video games, and think about what's next.
Nice.
The game industry is such an exciting place right now with PC gaming thriving, the new consoles, mobile games, and virtual reality becoming an actual reality. It's like having an empty quest log and going into a new zone for the first time. And I think that paragraph says the most about where his head's at, and I think it flies with what Terpster's saying, which is he sees a wide opportunity here with all kinds of platforms, unique technologies, and stuff that's going on now that's never been sort of happening at once before, and all of it being connected in a crazy new way. The world's kind of his oyster, so if he's smart about this, he's probably going to assemble a team, do something amazing, and gamers will be better for it.
Cross-platform stuff, like where you have maybe the meat and bulk of the game is PC, and then you have really cool mobile options as well that kind of keep you in the world. I'd love to see more people tackling that kind of thing.
Right.
I mean, Hearthstone obviously transfers back and forth with ease, but
sure,
the iOS space is kind of, there's some really good games, and then in general, you download a game and it's kind of the same, you know?
Sure.
There's 20 different Clash of Clans versions and 20 different whatever, Flappy Birds and 20 different whatever.
Bird thing,
I know. But so I want more people to be really innovating in that space.
I do too. Less potato salad Kickstarters and more innovation, please. That'd be great.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know. It just feels like a crazy time for it only feels weird because Blizzard is so notorious for having such loyalty and people staying for so long. And 17
these people have stayed for so long.
No, they have.
Already.
17 years is huge. You know, it's an enormous amount of time to stay any place for that long. And so, good on them. I agree with everybody here, and I don't see this as a negative. I mean, the commenters on that post are idiots, and everybody's got either weird theories or whatever.
Yeah. First, idiots on the internet.
I know it's weird, right?
But Scott, they're anonymous. Surely that would stop them being such idiots.
Wait, real name forums. Remember that? That was a thing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's not dig that up again.
People hated it.
Speaking,
first quote is Greg Street. Another one bites the dust.
Yep.
It's like
Nice, everybody. Let's all be a-holes till the end. Mike Morhaime. This is big this week. He has apologized. Sort of. I don't know if it was so much as an apology as it was
an apology.
It was just an addressing.
That's what everyone's calling it, as an apology. I think they're not calling it the right thing. It doesn't read like an apology. It reads like we are very interested in this, and this is something we want to improve.
Aware.
Yeah,
we're aware that this is going on, and we don't want it to be.
Yeah, we want to be better at this.
Yeah.
I don't.
So,
I guess you could say it's sort of an apology, but not really. I mean, it's like me saying, it's like me coming out and going, I know my backyard, the grass is a little overgrown and the weeds are a little weird. We've always tried to keep it nice, but I'm gonna redouble my efforts and do some new things. Maybe that'll help that.
Scott apologizes for backyard.
See how easy that is to get misconstrued. Whatever. We live in the era of link bait, so it's not that surprising. But here's what he said. He's talking about the lack of diversity in Blizzard games and at least acknowledging it and talking about it. He says, "We are very conscious of the issues you raise and are discussing them more than ever at every level at the company. In an effort to make sure our games and stories are as epic and inclusive as possible, Blizzard employees from a broad and diverse group that care deeply about the experiences we're creating for our players. We know that the actions speak louder than words, so we are challenging ourselves to draw from more diverse voices within and outside the company and create more diverse heroes and content. We're also actively looking at our story development and other processes to ensure our values are fully represented. We've always believed that positive, lasting change comes from examination, discussion, and iteration, and this applies as much to story as it does to gameplay. There is no reason why inclusivity should come at the expense of an amazing game experience." And then immediately, and this is just part of it, but immediately, once again, trolls on the internet are mad. Here's who I'm hearing from, because I posted this yesterday, I got a bunch of replies, and I'm only hearing from white males
Why would
who are mad.
This, I don't understand.
They think that it's just appeasing the PC-minded people, and this is just kowtowing.
What are you talking about, Scott? I've heard a rumor, that what happens is now in Warlords is Garrosh falls foul to Garona's blade, and she takes up the kind of the mantle of the kind of war chief of the Iron Horde. She kills all the other warlords, and it's just basically now Garona. And she's like half orc, half Draenei, which is pretty, pretty representative, I think, of a lot of different races there.
Mixed race,
And then you're seeing then what happens is Varian Rin becomes ill, and Jaina has to become the leader of the alliance. And Thrall, he actually decides that he wants to be a pacifist now, which is completely his right. Even as an orc, it may be expected for him to be quite angry, but he's actually a complete pacifist. But Agra steps up, and she's like, no, and she leads them through. And basically all of the Stormwind Guard, all of the male members suffer from dysentery, and so it's just then female soldiers going into battle. And what I think is brilliant is obviously Blizzard hasn't gone crazy with it. They've taken criticism, they've looked at it, and they thought, well, let's react, but measured and sensibly.
Well, you also didn't even mention that Bane and Vol'jin both come out of the closet,
for each other,
and announce their impending nuptials.
Exactly, and War Ladies of Draenor, I think sounds better. So I think ultimately it's a good thing. But
they're really gonna. I mean,
it is a bunch of middle-aged white guys making fantasy. This is the way it's always been, but it's not to say it's the way it always should be. And I think that people give Blizzard a lot of hard time about all of this. And look at the human female models, and they've got a thong on when they're not wearing anything. I think I would prefer one. I think that looks more comfortable to me than some of the Night Elf briefs with like metal ingots on the side of them. To me, that seems like, that would be cold. I wouldn't like that. So I think with all of it, you can choose to get as offended as you want. But what's lovely is that, in all seriousness, Blizzard is looking at it and going like, okay, fair shout. Yeah, there are certain, there's a female underrepresentation in the game, which isn't reflected in the audience. Like the audience of WoW, it has a very large female percentage for compared to a lot of other games out there.
No, look at the female percentage of Nerdtacular attendees versus, say, a Comic-Con or something. It's kind of shocking.
Pretty good ratio, right, dudes?
Almost half and half. Yeah.
Don't fight it, guys. Embrace it. But I think it's going to be ultimately a really kind of good thing in the long run, and as long as they don't second guess themselves too much, I think that's perfect.
That's really the trick, right? There's a difference between trying not to discriminate and also finding that discrimination that might be innate in you that you're not noticing versus tiptoeing around thin ice because everyone's watching you.
I don't want to have weird story stuff happening just so they feel that they can justify having more female
totally agree.
But I think that they're introducing a strong new Draenei female character, and they made a big deal of her at BlizzCon. Far before this really blew up as a massive issue, and I think that there's I won't spoil the opening kind of zone for Alliance people, but there may be developments through that which lead to her taking a more prominent role. And I think that there's cool ways they can do it, as long as they do it through fun story.
Here's the biggest problem I have is that everybody leveling this criticism toward Blizzard in the first place kind of bothers me in this one way, because I've always felt like, as video games go, and I'm not saying there isn't always room for improvement, even with the best of them, but as video games go, I feel like Blizzard's the least offender here. They've got really strong protagonists, women, strong women who have always been in their games. Kerrigan, freaking Nova.
But they are all kind of quite over-sexualized in terms of their...
Sure.
I mean, if you...
There's some hot ladies, it's true.
Yeah.
But the dudes are very... I mean, come on. If I'm supposed to look like the dudes, then we got a problem there, too.
Maybe the newer dudes. The older dudes, nobody wants to look like those.
Actually, it's pretty easy to look like them. Grow a mustache. Boom. Done.
Right. But but you know what I'm saying? Sure. If they're going to make a lady, nobody's making... nobody's making the center of all of this a short, squatty dwarf hero lady. And like nobody's really focusing on her. No, they're focusing on the slender, beautiful, whatever. Even though they may have strong personalities, they are aiming for this aesthetic. It's more attractive. But I don't know that anybody else. None of the women are going, oh, look at Chen Stormstout. He's looking, hubba hubba. That's not how it works. Like attractive is attractive, and I think it's okay to represent them as attractive. But as video games and developers go, how is Blizzard at the spotlight? Is it because they're so big and they can have a bigger influence?
Not really, but the cool thing about this is even though they're not the biggest offender, they're still going to address it, and they just kind of did it. You know,
yeah.
Like there's definitely companies out there that are not coming forth and saying, yeah, you know what, let's change this culture of over sexualized female characters. But Blizzard's saying, hey, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, we're doing it.
You know what? And
who doesn't like it is stupid white males.
White males who don't get it.
Ripping on to their superior position in the world so hard.
And that's and look, I'm not here to say that they don't have, there's it's okay to have some opinion that it's swinging too far the other way. I don't want it to swing too far the other way either. I'm just saying that Blizzard saying that this is an internal thing that we are trying to better ourselves in. How do you find fault in that? I can't. I don't know how that's a problem. How is that a problem? If they came out and said, hey, like Terpster said some ridiculous thing like Thrall is now Thralala and she's gonna, if they started doing that, well then there's something up. But they're not doing that. They're just assessing how do we think? Who are we? How many women do we employ? Do we always get their perspective? Are we getting enough of it? Should we have less of it? Like they're examining and then they're iterating and they're doing their process. And if you ask me, that process has served them well. Why wouldn't it here? So boo freaking who, everybody. Blizzard wants to better themselves and you got a problem with it, freaking F off.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
I didn't expect
Mike Morhaime.
Didn't expect to get so worked up about it, but I am. Speaking of males who should be wearing a thong, let's talk about the Male Draenei character. He's should just wrap his little tail up there, I think, is how he ought to do it.
It's the chitinous husk of his tail that always makes it fun.
That'll look good.
So are the orange things on his tentacle beard, are those wraps are those just accessories?
Yeah, I would assume so. They're not organic, if that's what you're getting at.
Because they look almost like I can't see any seams on them or ties or whatever.
What's this? What are you chatting about? Sorry,
his tentacle
model. There's the link.
I think
there.
they're meant to be like they're meant to be like golden bands. I think aren't they like metal?
Okay. I see he's got one on his little tail too.
Because they do it on the dwarves and their beards and things like that. Yeah. But I mean, there's certainly obviously that step up in fidelity. There is still the kind of no neck syndrome that Draenei's always have when I look at them.
It's even worse, actually.
Yeah,
doesn't look quite as barrel chested as he once did. It's kind of proportioned out a bit more with the torso being a bit less wedge like. Yeah, but
lots of veins in the arms.
Yeah, exactly. All of the guys, they don't need any tourniquets if they're giving blood. You can find that that vein straight away.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome. I think it's great to see that even what we considered a nicer, kind of cooler looking model is getting readdressed.
I agree.
It's interesting that they have hooves on their feet, but regular hands, 5 fingers.
Just normal hands. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, you know what?
They're like satyrs, or whatever you say.
Sure. Yeah. Goat on the bottom. Goat from the waist down.
Goat where it counts.
Yeah.
And
all man up here.
All blue man
all
up top.
Tentacled, pointy-eared, regular.
And as usual, we're getting this trend continues. We're getting nipples like crazy with these new dude models. So,
big old pancake nipples.
One of the artists must be like again really upset about the desexualization of characters in Blizzard games. And like, guys, they're nipples. Let's embrace them.
Right.
Okay, everyone has them.
It's like Batman and Robin right here. Just, let's just add some nipples.
What's the guy who directed those bad movies? That was what's his name? Crap.
I don't know. I rented it using my Bat credit card.
I see. Yes, remember that Bat credit card?
The Bat card.
That was so
I never leave
stupid.
home without it.
I can't think of his name, but anyway.
The only other person I know with a Bat credit card is Bruce Wayne. Hang on a second. Yeah.
You're talking about Tim Burton?
No, the one after him.
No,
he did Joel Schumacher.
Joel Schumacher is the nipple guy. He's the
he did
nipple
all the
man.
crappy ones.
Yeah, so he's a Blizzard, a consulting job at Blizzard on nipples.
He's like, you know what? More nipples and close-ups of the nipples.
Also, the new Dark Portal is up in the beta, and I think it needed an overhaul. This looks amazing. I had just spent some time near the portal because I was trying to see just checking it out. Yeah. Well, I wanted to see. I wanted to see what it did. It was I'm being a little dumb and I hadn't read, and I was in the beta, and I thought, well, what if I walk through here now? Where do I go? And I ended up going to Outland still.
Go back in the future, Marty. Oh no, we've gone the wrong way.
Yeah.
It's very cool, kind of again like story and quest around that, like what they're doing and why it's there and why it's red and not green.
There's more activity around it now too, which is cool.
Yeah, and it's just
it just looks really
bigger
evil.
and sinister and
bad things.
Yeah, it just looks badass. And if you compare it to the old one, it's not even freaking close.
No.
Like that.
It's funny though, is at the time the old one was amazing. I remember that was one of the biggest moments for me in WoW was walking through that thing for the first time.
Burning Crusade sort of thing. Yeah,
getting on the other side and being like, where the hell am I now?
Yeah, so the other side one's always been cool.
Is this still in Blasted Lands? Is this where this is?
No, this is in Draenor.
So this is the other side. This is the other side of it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the Blasted Lands portal is the same. If they're going to update that.
Currently. Yeah, it's last time I've seen. But I've had such trouble trying to get into the beta recently. Every time I try and like load it up, it's like, game needs an update. I click it, it's like, oh,
yeah, me too. I can't get it going.
It's just like, thanks, Blizz.
It's a little rough right now. I don't know what's going on there.
Stuff.
Yeah,
it's a beta.
I get told my credentials are wrong, but then I'll log right into the regular game, no problem. So I don't know what's going on there.
There you go.
Let's see what else. Cross-faction auction house and Warlords of Draenor. This came out. They're going to combine them finally. Geez, finally.
Now, this is a fantastic development, really, because it really affects unbalanced pop realms.
Yeah.
This is a massive thing where you know if you've got a massive Horde faction, even if you're not on a PvP realm, it can be really annoying because it often means that there's no alliance, and thusly, if you're on the alliance side trying to get any auction house stuff, it just doesn't exist because there's no one there.
Yeah.
But it's now kind of just unifies all of that and makes it so that there's just per realm you have this awesome combined market, and it's the equivalent, I guess, of the Goblin auction houses being the default auction houses now. So
yeah, I always go to those now, which is not really ideal. So,
well, yeah, it's interesting because I haven't done much with the auction house for ages. But I remember very early, I don't know, even back in BC and stuff, people were talking about, I wish the auction houses were cross-faction. It's weird it took this long for that to happen.
It's going to level out pricing, too.
Yeah, it will. I'm still convinced that at some point, well, maybe not totally convinced, but I'm somewhat convinced that at some point they combine the auction house for every realm in the game and that everybody's on the same giant sort of,
yeah, market. I think there's still too many players to do that. I think it would be too much. The interface doesn't support large pages very well. Like, I still struggle if you type in something like the
word gem or something or whatever.
Exactly. Like, just a cloth or something like that, and you're trying to get like a certain type of cloth or you want to find it. But maybe if they improve the UI, they could do that. I think currently I think it'd be too clunky.
Yeah.
But I'm quite looking forward to just using my auction house remote app sort of thing to do more stuff.
Did you guys
more activity on that.
More things to do. I get it. Do you guys know, I don't know if you heard this, guild leveling is going away.
Somehow I missed this.
I completely missed it. I saw it yesterday and went, what?
I don't think it was a thing. Like, it wasn't a BlizzCon announced thing, but it is a post-alpha beta thing.
Yeah.
I think it kind of makes sense.
Explain. Why do you think it's good? I actually have my own reasons, but they're mostly biased based on how huge our guild is and why we're split up into 9 guilds, so it doesn't really work in my case. But why do you think?
I think the problem with guild leveling is it stops people making new guilds, because if you make a new one, you have to level it up again. And equally, you can't have a small guild of friends and still benefit from all of those perks. You need to normally have a lot of people actively working towards something bigger. So I think personally, I like it because I just think that it's going to, give a lot of those fun things to smaller players who don't necessarily want to join massive guilds.
Yeah. There were some cool perks there that would have been nice if you don't want to be in a big guild or deal with all that. It would have been nice to have that as
But they're still keeping. They said the guild achievement system and unlocked items and other benefits through completion of guild achievements will remain as is.
Correct. Yeah.
So you still have goals and targets, but the level they're saying, which primarily just reflects the individual's effort. So I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a fine change. It doesn't really bother me that much. All right. Well, there's all that. How about this? World of tweets. Somebody wrote and said, you guys still don't have a bumper for that. And I said, yeah, we do. We just manually do the last part of it.
I like it. It's every episode. It's bespoke.
Yeah, that's how it works. It's a sound effects show. Remember that?
We do it on the fly.
I remember that.
Celestalon had a tweet come to him, and he answered it, and it went like this. I know it seems like a silly ability, Eyes of the Beast, but I think it's a true staple of being a hunter, exploring. And Celestalon said, I looked into this recently. The tech involved in bringing Eyes of the Beast back would require extensive work. So guess what, hunters? Never getting that back.
I mean, honestly, all I ever used it for was messing around with my pet.
I know, that was it.
Yeah. Pet pools in Molten Core. That was all it was. When you're trying to get Baron-Geddon, you just
I remember that. Yeah.
And, you'd send the hunters like tiger down there, just being like, "So long, okay." if it goes wrong, they're gonna feign death. Everyone stay the hell back, and there'd always be someone AFK right in the entrance, and
more dots.
You'd all go to combat anyway. It'd be terrible, but all part of the fun.
Yeah, sure. I
mean, it was a funny thing, but it's not a huge deal. I don't know.
I guess if you're a big time, I don't know, if you're into role playing and stuff, and maybe you came up with reasons that would be fun. I mean, I liked it for the novelty of it, but I never used it for anything practical, ever.
No, I use it to walk up and smell Manny's crotch or something like that.
That was
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I love doing that. What was the other Eye of the? What's the other one? Eye of the Eagle or Eagle Eye or whatever it is.
Eye of the Tiger. I think you're thinking Eye of the Beast.
Eye of the Tiger.
Eye of the Beast, maybe.
There's there was another one that was just
about the
forward a long way or whatever.
Yeah. You could just see real far. You still have that, I think.
That's a shaman thing.
Yeah, what do hunters have?
That's it.
Hunters just have the eyes of the beast.
The eagle.
Oh, yeah.
I thought we had one where we could zoom way out and see stuff far away. No, I don't know.
Shaman have that, and then warlocks have the little floating green orb.
Eagle eye you're thinking of? Is that what you're thinking of?
Eagle eye. Yeah, the eagle eye. That's
Eagle eye?
it.
Oh, eagle eye. Well, whatever. I never use any of this stuff.
I never do either. That's my point. Yeah. It's like, well, those were all neat, but
hunter's vision. You can see how it is like, Legolas, what do your elf eyes see? You can see it like a thing. But
eagle eye. Yeah, it just zooms in. Yeah, I remember this now.
Yeah. But did you ever? But when was it used? I used it once or twice to say, "Ooh, what's up there in this place I've never been yet," but never as like, all right, guys, I've seen some stuff. Here's what we got to do. Like, it doesn't work.
Guess what? Right over there, that's where the mob is. We got to kill it.
Exactly.
It's there. I know where it is.
I can appreciate the Legolas idea, but I don't think it mattered that much. So, it's fine. These kind of things, let's let them go, everybody. It's not a big deal. After playing the beta, says another tweeter, any chance we could see more NPCs in the game? It's feeling a bit underpopulated, like guards and laborers. And Muffinus wrote back and said, lots of work being done on this right now. So I suppose we'll see way more characters walking around doing stuff.
I mean, that's stuff that gets added later, right?
Yeah, because they're doing all of the character remodels as well.
Yeah.
I think that they're kind of split focus because do you invest a lot of time making the old models in there looking good? Are the new models going to look okay in the outfits you put them in the positions you put them in? Yeah. Is their animation going to clip now because they've got different stuff going on? Right. I can see that the pipeline might have shifted slightly. Because of the inclusion of these cool new things.
Yeah. Stuff is always harder than you think it is. Like, there's no way that this is a simple implementation. It's not as simple as just saying, all right, everything marked as an orc suddenly gets the new orc model and everything's done. No, they got like certain gear on. Some of that stuff shifts around because positionally the vertices are different. Yeah, they've all been named. Like, it's a big whoop. People shouldn't just dismiss it.
Tor had these really kind of ghost town feeling.
Oh, big time, yeah.
Little cities because they just didn't put enough NPCs and stuff. Yeah. And it is weird. It does take you out of the game when you get somewhere that's supposed to be kind of bustling.
Yeah.
There's nobody there.
Well, they had the double problem. If you remember this, I remember this was a big controversy, but they had the double problem of not having a lot of NPCs nor the players because they were being phased. So it was arbitrarily being phased for load or for lag or whatever. So you may
everywhere you went felt like a ghost town.
Yeah, so there might be 100 people there, but you couldn't see them. It was annoying. I hated that in that game.
I see dead people.
I know you do. You got to quit doing that. Let's see. Final one. Will we ever see petless frost mages? Celestalon said, no. Squirt is a core, iconic pet of the frost mages kit. Part. What'd I say?
Pet.
I meant part.
It still works. Yeah.
Context. Yeah.
I meant
part. I don't know. I don't know why you'd need to have. I guess maybe some people would like to be more kind of solo badass. I mean, it gets a little bit more warlocky if you can kind of sacrifice your pet.
Well, don't bring him in, I guess. Then, if you want to.
Here's what you do. Well, then you suck.
Then you blow.
You roll. You just go fire.
All right.
Fire mage. You want to be a
fire
solo
mage is exactly consumed by power.
Be a fire mage, but then use a lot of little interstitial ice powered things that you get anyway with your fire mage, and do whatever you want.
Or be an arcane mage, and apparently piss people off when you say that they face roll.
That's right. I don't know why I'm so excited about this mage I'm playing. I don't know what's going on with me.
So what are you doing? Are you doing?
I'm
Frost?
all Frost. I love Frost.
Yeah? Okay.
But Frost is not about these are good Frost mechanics. Frost for me has always been about that's the kind of mage I would be if I was a real mage. I would be hucking ice and creating lakes of ice, and I would be dropping huge, icicles on people, and I would blast them with snow. And for whatever reason, that is the archetype of an ice mage is way more fun and interesting. And it's why my favorite character in Mortal Kombat is what's his name? Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero?
I always go for the ice guy. If I'm playing a Marvel game or something, I always want Iceman. If I had to
God killed the dinosaurs. The Ice Age. It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If you choose a place to live, you always choose Utah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that bad.
The frosty peaks.
I like my
frosty
eight
over there.
months a year. Yeah, I guess that's true. But I don't know. I'm just
You can
into
always see snow, right? From anywhere.
I'm into the mysterious guy in a tavern in the corner who's it's hot, but he's in a robe, and you just see frost coming from his breath because he is some secret arcane ice mage who will just suddenly explode and freeze everyone and kill them immediately. That stuff is just badass to me. So that's why I'm doing it, and so it's fun. That's why I picked it. But I guess also ice is real strong right now in raids and everything else. So I'll stick with that and see how it goes in the beta or the final game. There's your tweets. Let's cry a little.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Why, it's the town crier.
We will read these real quick. These are, we've got a couple to play, but these are your Town Crier emails and messages. They come to us at a phone number, which you can call 206-202-3969, or email us, theinstance@gmail.com. Here is a call about tips for tanking.
Hey guys, this is Inkmoth on the server Agwin. I was just calling to see if you had any tips for tanking, because I always played a Ret Paladin and I've always DPS, but recently we've been having a hard time finding tanks for the guild who want to actually do SLO and, go through all that. And I was just wondering if you had any tips for a new level 90 tank. So if you could cover that in one of your podcasts, that'd be awesome. Just feature it, I guess. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Okay, if I'm going to say an opinion in here, it's check freaking YouTube. There's a billion of them.
Yeah, I mean, Blizzard themselves have done some really good videos to kind of help you get started, post boosts and stuff like that. Past that, I mean, equally hold up because it's all changing in Warlord.
That is true.
So,
we can give a lot of tips right now, but it's all going to change. But somebody in the chat just mentioned that. I was going to say Tank Spot. Go check out Tank Spot. Lots of really good. You can watch videos from the tank perspective on different fights.
Been around forever too. Those guys have an amazing guide. Yeah.
But you're already one leg up by being a paladin, because paladin tanks are pretty good.
Yeah.
And I played one for a long time. We did all of that's how I killed Lich King with you guys.
Yeah, all of Ulduar, most of it anyway.
Yeah, Paladils was my my main raiding tune for a while there, because we didn't need a DPS, we needed a tank. But definitely get some sort of a nameplates mod that can separate them out, and something that gives you really good indicators of how much aggro you have on different mobs at the same time. Because that's going to be one of the biggest things, is you need to have awareness of the fight. So you zoom your camera out a little bit, get the awareness, because you're always standing in some big dude's crotch. So you got to zoom out a little bit and be able to see nameplates through crotches.
Yeah. And it's important to note that tanking is you got all that stacking crap to worry about and the switching off stuff, and there's a lot of mechanics there that terrify anybody who's never tanked before. But I feel like Tank Spot and some of these resources will just alleviate a lot of that, because
they will. And chat's bringing up all the so Tidy Plates is the good add-on, I think, for nameplates. And make sure that you are correctly gemming and enchanting your gear, because the difference between a tank who has his stuff correct and one who doesn't is massive.
All right.
And your healers will thank you for it. But yeah, it's a fun way to play the game. I really enjoy being the tank, because you feel you're really contributing to the success of your group, or the failure, and that's when it sucks.
Right.
I mean, ask Manny or Tet or any of the guys who have tanked for us in the past. When you make a mistake, it is obvious to everybody.
Yeah,
so when the DPS stands in the poop for a second, it's not that big of a deal.
This is true.
When the tank doesn't taunt the guy and the guy kills your healer, everybody knows that the tank just messed up. So be prepared for that and have thick skin and don't worry about it.
Be ready, man. Are the Horde a bunch of whiners? Asked this call.
Hey, Scott, Dills, and Terpster. This is Bearcat from Dark Spear. I have a question for you that actually I've noticed the forums and such. It's been a bit controversial, but I want to get your opinion on this. I see Horde players who sometimes are complaining about the fact that Alliance wins Alterac Valley and Isla Conquest all the time. I find it kind of annoying because all the other BGs are primarily Horde dominated. Bye.
All right, so
yeah, because those two are completely geared towards the Alliance winning by geography, and that people complain. Yeah. I blacklisted those two. I just never play them.
You don't do them, yeah.
It's basically impossible to win as Horde in those two.
Well, aren't the others just... It's not that the others are Horde centric. It's just that the Horde players are blacklisting the ones we talked about there, and then they may be dominating in the others, but I think it's because that's all they want to play, and so maybe they're playing it more.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That I'd say most PvPers who are on the Horde who PvP a lot have blacklisted those two.
Yeah,
and it's unfortunate because those were kind of fun. Alterac Valley back in the day was incredibly fun. And now it's gotten to be just a rush to the other team's base. But it's the geography of it doesn't work for the Horde very well. There's the bridge, and it's just tough to actually get into their base. So that's just one of those things. Blizzard, I don't think, really has the incentive to fix it. But whatever. Yeah. If they're whining, here's what you do. You just ignore it.
Yeah,
that's how I do it. I pretty much
trick.
Don't pay attention to PvP chat at all because it's basically everyone telling everybody else how much they suck.
Yeah, and when I was leveling that mage in LFG for a few days there, I forgot how people can be such wieners. I mean, if one thing goes weird, like the guy turned the wrong direction in Blackrock Depths or something, and you go, and I'm like, oh well, no big deal. The guy turned the wrong way. Who cares? Come on back the other way. Everything's fine. We're back on track. Everyone else falling apart. Vote to kick. What an idiot. We're never going to finish this. This guy's a fool. Who put him in charge? It's like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? How fun is this for any of us?
No, I know.
That's why I was part of my boost. Maybe
get out of that.
Maybe Blizzard, maybe Blizzard's counting on that. Like, no one will be able to stand this. Yeah. They're plants, dude. That would be pretty funny.
But yeah, the best thing you can do, man, is just ignore the whiners because they will always be there.
Agreed.
And the wieners.
And the wieners,
here's the thing. You're like, oh, the Horde are big-time whiners. Well, you know what? The Alliance are too.
Sure.
It's just players. It's
wild players or whiners.
Both sides.
Yep.
So.
Rob Pardo's leaving. Good riddance. Don't let the door hit you bad on the way out. That kind of stuff. I mean, what do you expect? Here we are. This is the world we live in. Join AIE. That doesn't happen here. All right. Quick email. I'm going to do this one here. It says, this is from Greg. It says, why the human girls have thongs and the blood elves don't? Twist. They're both the same underwear. One size fits all, Greg. So his theory is this: the humans are like, hey. Right. The human girls are like, I could use a little extra flossing down there. So
wait, he's saying that what the blood elves, they just have smaller butts?
No,
so
they're saying the blood elves have they're saying the blood elves wear the same underwear as the humans. It's just the humans twist that underwear into a rope.
Oh, okay.
And create their own thong.
You've thought about this far too long, Greg.
Agreed. I wonder if this is no, it was Craig that was on your team.
Craig!
Oh, Craig, dude. Craig was the man. Holy crap. Your team, we soundly whooped you guys, though. Holy crap.
You did soundly whoop us, yeah. But that being said, it was the stupid list portion. Every single thing was something I do not care about.
Yep.
And magically you guys, well, you have Jury, so he knows all the stuff.
Jury knows everything.
Yeah. Jury knows too many things about too many things.
Yeah, it's quite freaky, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, he weirded me out with all the stuff. Yeah. You know what? He was the Terpster this year. Terpster's just the same way last year. Just nailed every damn question. Seemed to have
what can I say? I have a lot of time on my hands.
I guess so.
I think he he has some sort of deal with button making. I don't know what the hell he did. How does he get? I was instantly pushing the damn button, and it was just every time jury.
I was having the same thing. I was getting ones I knew that he also knew, and I swear I was hitting it before he was.
Next year there needs to be a new system. There needs to be, I think,
instead of the buttons.
I think you should do a Kickstarter, reinvest in in some new equipment, get a proper buzzer with a light under each person.
I think rather than sitting there with your thumb on it,
you can't put that on Tina. It's unfair.
I know Tina's got to deal with all that stuff. She kept whispering to me. She was like, the best thing to do is just click it a lot. And I'm like,
oh, great.
She's seeing me trying to push the button, and I'm never getting it.
That's not good.
But yeah, do the thing like Family Feud where you have your hand on the table
and you go,
bong, and then you quickly hit it. That would be cool.
I would love one of those. All right, kickstart it. We got this. Look, if you can kickstart a freaking bowl of potato salad, you can do this, everybody.
Oh my God, the potato salad.
Freaking
what the hell, people?
Now they're all sandwiches people are doing, and someone's making ice cream.
I know, that's the thing. You open the floodgates.
Floodgates to idiocy. I hate it.
Yep.
It diminishes the service. I hate it. It's irritating. All right, let's move on.
How are they approving these? Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know how they're doing it. All I know is this.
The drop of the week.
This week's drop of the week is the Mists of Pandaria cinematic ending called The Bottoms Up. And, they say, it's some cutting room floor footage we found. That's not how this stuff works. You have to, make this.
I think this is like an internal test or an exam piece almost.
Yeah.
Like someone said, okay, you want to animate the next one? Cool. Well, here's the assets for this. Why don't you create a short, 5-second piece? And I think it was so good that they thought, well, let's share it.
I agree.
Because it couldn't have been made for any other reason. No. It's so untimely. It's just weird.
It's really fun. I like it a lot. It's made me laugh. I think it's well done. My kids loved it. But then again, you go read the comments, and immediately the first comment's like, "Oh, good to see Blizzard spending time on important stuff instead of the game we're supposed to be buying this fall or whatever." It's like, calm down, you guys. You don't even know how this stuff works. I've so had it with trolls this week. It's always post Nerdtacular. I get
But the thing is that equally they may just love trolling you, Scott.
Oh.
So it's
got, you know what? It's
really bad. It is really bad VO. And it's completely over the top animation.
Yeah.
But it's that sort of thing that just, like I said, feels like an animation test.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And it was fun. It's fine. If they're going to share it, why are we? I don't know why we're complaining. This is why I get so sensitive to trolls.
Because we can.
Nerdtacular is filled with non-trolls, wonderful people. Everybody's respectful, nice, helpful. Everything's wonderful. It's a utopia. And then you leave that and you're reminded, oh yeah, the internet sometimes blows. And that's why I think I'm a little more sensitive to it this week.
Sometimes it sucks, sometimes it blows.
Right. Exactly.
That's what it's about.
Well, there's your drop of the week, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is our show. I knew we go a little longer.
I was going to say, to a relevant one, it's Valor weekend this weekend.
Oh yeah. I think they're going to start. What do you bet they're going to just put that permanent at some point? Just make it.
Well, no,
guess what?
No, special if it's all the time. They need to do it like a sell. It just needs to be
it's like the Diablo. It's like the Diablo rate of legendary drops.
But even then, they still do you extra XP this weekend, so it's always good.
Yeah, I guess that's either way, this is a trend for Blizzard moving forward. They're going to have bonus weekends. That we know, I believe. All right, that's it. We're done. Don't forget, check Terpster out over there, _T on Twitter. It's got a lot of stuff going on with the Yogscast. That Hearthstone series is up now. You can go check that out. It's really good. You have anything else to pimp?
No, just check out the Hearthstone series. It's amazing, and you'll love it.
When's the baby due? Winter? When's the deal?
New Year's Eve.
Oh my gosh!
So,
look at that!
Wow,
that's crazy. That'd be amazing if they did that.
Well, less so, but I don't know. I just hope it's not like Christmas Day, because then
drunk
that kid's gonna.
You'll be drunk on fatherhood on New Year's Eve. That'll be good.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm very excited. I'm very excited about all that. Dills, anything? What's going on? Angry Chicken live from Nerdtacular is up on the feed. That was great.
That is up. Yeah. We don't have the video for it yet, so there is a video of it, but it's just
very soon. We're waiting for the UAT guys to get all that to us, but we should have video.
But it was very gracious of them to actually fit, because that room didn't have planned videoing, but they stuck around and videoed it for us. So thank you to them for that. Also, articles on Hearthhead.com if you want to read about Hearthstone decks. I'm putting a bunch of them up there. I would put up this zoo deck, but I've been told that I shouldn't. I should do the paladin deck, the other paladin deck. So I don't know. We'll see. Even though Terpster saw the zoo deck in action, right? So,
yeah,
I'd like to know. You can send it to me.
Okay,
I want to do it.
Terpster at internet.com. There you go.
It's a very fun deck to play because you're always doing something and you just crush people, which is always fun.
That's what you want in life.
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course MGA Tour. We got a new video coming out very soon. So MGAtour.com and what the hell else? Oh, come to the Double Clicks in Oakland on Sunday.
Yeah, look for Dills.
I
say
won't
hi.
be that one, but I'll be at the one on Saturday, which is sold out.
If you're at the sold out one, say hi to him anyway. Do that.
Yeah, if you're already going to be there,
or throw him the double bird. That's what we want right there. Well, there's a lot of this Nerdtacular stuff I keep talking about is up on feeds, various audio feeds, and so on. We will have video soon. I want to thank all the Instance fans who came and made it out this year. It was really, really fun to hang out with you guys and talk to you. And the Instance is such a gateway drug to everything else that's going on that we're just ever grateful for people supporting the show. So thank you all for that. I feel like there's a million more things. There'll be some contests this week. I got some giveaways, Illidan Storm Rage, pop toys, a bunch of other cool stuff. Hearthstone
By the way,
shirts.
Scott, the people want live Instance at Nerdtacular one of these years.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah, they're saying like film sack again. Come on.
People keep saying
it's obvious that Ibba is heavily involved in the planning. You can see it. You know, he's got TMS. Then all of a sudden he's doing the FROGPANTS battle thing, and it's just like I think like Dills. If either of us could be asked to do it, we could have the Instance there. The problem is neither of us can.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna.
If it helps you, listen. If it helps you, we were actually that was on the plan until we knew that you couldn't come, and then we said, "Oh, all right."
Yeah. How convenient.
Yeah. How
Scott.
convenient.
How convenient. I put it in this pile of things I believe that Scott said. Oh wait, there's nothing else in this pile.
There's nothing in this pile right now.
I'll put it in this much larger pile over here of Scott Johnson's.
All right. Well, only the future will tell. There's other stuff, and I can't think of all of it. So I'll follow us on Twitter at Instance Show, Dills at Willie Dills, Terpster at the _T, me at Scott Johnson. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and all over the place where podcasts are found. Big thanks to Matthew Oxley for our music, Paul Swickert for our intern work he does on the site, does our show notes and all that. It's awesome. More great shows like this at frogpants.com. That's going to do it for us. From me, from Terpster, and from Dills. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
People are also very fond of when you said,
"Oh shit!"
at the end of the animation.
Yeah,
well,
the animation. Yeah, Christ, that was brilliant.
Great.
Right, I got to run.
All right, have fun, everybody. Thanks, you guys. Great show.
Big high five to the family and the new son-in-law.
Thanks, man. You can come and inspect him next time you're here and give him the once over.
If he meets up to my expectations, I will allow it.
It's gonna be rough.
But almost, Doctor, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I like how he tried to pull the wool over my eyes, but no, he's not good enough yet.
No, not yet, but he will be.
Not yet.
See ya. All right. Thanks, everybody.